With the trade for a guy like Baker Mayfield, there's obviously some questions facing the whole situation, but there is even more questions facing the Carolina Panthers before we head into training camp, and that's what we're here to address today. There's a lot of different things going on. By the way, I love the Baker Mayfield trade because there's a lot of different reasons. And we'll get into it here in a second. But I really do think it is the best move for this team moving forward. And I think it's something that needed to be done with the right price in place. And I think that's exactly what the Panthers did. So let's move right into it. Let's talk about question number one. Who will be quarterback number one in week one? I think when you take a look at all of the different things that the Panthers have built in terms of defensively, I know they lost Hassan Reddick. Again, we'll get into that in a second. But at the end of the day, their defense is young, it's fast, it's agile, it gets after the quarterback, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But at the same time, the offense has so many pieces, but with the right signal caller, you can make some things happen. And I think Baker Mayfield, if he's the answer or not, I don't know. But the point is, you brought in a guy that, quite honestly, could be that missing piece to your guys' offense. That could be that guy that could be the fire that really ignites this thing. And on the other side of that, you got Sam Darnold, who has played very well in minicamp and everything. I know you take that with a grain of salt because it's minicamp. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing you want on any team is competition. And now you have it at the most important position on the team. And if one guy just isn't getting it done, you got another guy that can step up right behind him. And I'm really excited. I think this was the perfect move that the Panthers needed to make. And I'm glad that it was literally for only a conditional fifth round pick. So I think that's a big time move in itself. The second question that I think actually has major implications, both salary cap wise and also personnel wise. What is the future like of a guy like Christian McCaffrey? Now, he's been kind of a running joke. I've seen memes about how he's going to get injured before the next day, or he's going to get injured by the end of this meme or whatever. I've seen it. First of all, it's disrespectful. Come on, I mean, obviously you want guys to be healthy, you guys want to be, prosperous and all that stuff. On the flip side of that, it does get a little frustrating. I can tell he's a Vikings fan. I've seen Dalvin Cook just not be 100%. It does get frustrating. You want a guy to be on the field. You want a guy to be, if he's going to be your number one ball carrier, you want him to be out there. You want him to be getting the lion's share of the carries. And when he's not healthy, it's frustrating. And then you have to rely on your backup. But I will venture to say, Chuba Hubbard is a bad man. That man can play some straight up ball, and I think he could be the perfect guy. I don't think you can replace a guy like Christian McCaffrey, but you might be able to get a little something for Christian McCaffrey. If you can, either that or you renegotiate his contract, I don't know. But at the end of the day, with a guy like Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, he's clearly a difference maker. But what is the future of a guy like Christian McCaffrey? Can he stay healthy, or will he continue to have injuries and potentially, either have a place, not have a place with the team, or have to completely restructure his deal? I don't know. That's definitely something to watch. Number 3, I think it's the latest headlines as far as the Panthers' offensive line. Obviously, the number one headliner here is Ikem Ekwonu. I know I'm not even close to saying his name right, but that left tackle, according to camp reports, they've been throwing a lot at him. I love it. I think that's exactly what you need to do for a guy that you think can play left tackle. If he's a guard, fine, whatever. I don't care. Throw the kitchen sink at this young man, but because I think he can handle it, I think he can be that left tackle of the future. It's been a while since I can't even remember the last time. I don't mean that to say that disrespectfully, but it's been a little while since they've had a guy that is that left tackle of the start of their future. I think I was reading an article on it. What was it, Fansided or something like that? He was obviously. Let's start that again. He was talking about it's not average, it's not something that you see all the time for a guy like Rashawn Slater or Trish Wirfs to come in and play that well out of the gate. But I do think it's going to be interesting in terms of how Ikem Ekwonu is incorporated, how he does play, and really, is he that answer at left tackle? That's the biggest question that you have to ask yourself. So I think if you just keep putting him in through the ringer, if you just keep working, and he's honestly a guy that he even said it, just keep working him and keep putting him in those positions. He's going to be in a position where I think he will have seen, I think it was Gross. I can't remember. I think that was the last name, was the last left tackle. But anyway, the point is that they are in a spot where they need to make sure that they are putting this kid through the ringer because he can absolutely handle it. Jordan Gross, right? Yeah, Jordan Gross. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember the name. Anyway, last left tackle that the Panthers had, I would argue, was Jordan Gross. And a guy like Ike Ekwonu could be the next guy at left tackle, but you got to keep throwing the kitchen sink at him. You just got to keep pushing everything. See where else he can play. If he doesn't work out at left tackle, try him at guard. Try him at center. It doesn't matter. He's got too many physical tools. He's got too many things you look for in a starting offensive lineman not to try him out on all those different places. And I think that the Panthers definitely need to do that. Question number 4 for me. Is this the year that Yetur Gross-Matos explodes onto the scene? Because we've seen it. We have seen flashes of where it's like, okay, this young man can play. Like over the last couple of seasons, he's had 6 sacks for the Panthers. You really like where he's coming from every single time he gets on the field. And the Panthers lost Hassan Reddick, I believe it was to the Eagles. And you got also, I mean, it's just, it is just seriously a travesty to me for a guy that just doesn't get as much love as a guy like Brian Burns. You got to give this guy some love. Seriously, at some point, please. But, Yetur Gross-Matos, can he be that guy opposite of a guy like Brian Burns? Can he get it done? I absolutely think so. That is the biggest question to me, is you need to have a double-digit sack guy, and I think that a guy like Yetur Gross-Matos could be. So that's a big question to me, is are we going to get the most out of Yetur Gross-Matos? Is he going to finally play up to his potential? And I'm not saying he has been bad by any means. Having 6 sacks over the last couple of years in reserve duty is not bad, but he has the potential to be that double-digit sack guy opposite Brian Burns, and I'm really excited for it. Now, question number 5, who will step up at wide receiver? Now, this one comes as probably a little bit of a shock. DJ Moore, stud, don't even need to talk about it. But really the question to me is Robbie Anderson. I think he missed a little bit of time last year, had just over 500 receiving yards, but I think the biggest thing for me, what do you got out of Terrace Marshall Jr.? Brandon Zylstra, to me, always shows great things. Rashard Higgins coming over from the Browns, just like Baker Mayfield. Maybe that connection will show some great things. Shi Smith, I love him. I think he's going to be something special. My question is, other than guys like Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, who is going to step up? Robbie Anderson, I think he is an incredible player. But you need a third guy. You really need a third wide receiver that can step up and be that guy that's not only a security blanket, but that can be that surprise starter and that surprise guy that can come in and make some noise. So my question is, who's going to step up at wide receiver number 3? I'm really excited for it, because I do think this Panthers offense is too good not to have a number 3 wide receiver. It's too good not to have everything else in place, because I think there's a lot of good things that are in place right now. I know we mentioned the offensive line, Ike Ekwonu, Pat Elflein. I have my reservations as a Vikings fan. I've seen some good things. Maybe Cade Mays can step up. Bradley Bozeman, love it. Austin Corbett. Then you got Taylor Moton at right tackle. There is the potential to be. This is the potential to be the best Carolina Panthers offensive line in a long time. But I think at the end of the day, there's too much talent along this entire team not to be excited. And I think the Baker Mayfield trade was a big reason for that. But that's it. That's our top questions facing the Carolina Panthers before training camp. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like on the comment, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, let us know what you guys think about the top questions facing the Carolina Panthers before we head into training camp.